Now let's go behind the rock screen.
You're welcome to come on in. We'll bring out the moonshine, start telling lies and calling up the women. But no talk about racing. Come on.
Hey everybody, Josh with the Dirt Court Jesters podcast, joined by Andy King, owner and promoter of the Dirt Track Truck Series. Mr. King, thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Right out of the gate, I want to ask, how did you get into dirt track racing?
I grew up in Lima, and Lima has a dirt track right there, and my uncles raced, so it was just something I've always been around.
And you yourself have raced, is that right?
Yeah, I ran, me personally, I ran stock car for, I think, 10 years between Lima and Eldora. Ran them places for points weekly. And then I jumped around when we had places end of the season. We'd go to Montpelier or Waynesfield, just different places when we had time.
Okay. All right, and I know you race trucks some now, and you've got some trucks as well as I think that others race for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I try. I might race once or twice a year now. I try not to run my own series. I guess I'm pretty busy with the behind the scenes stuff. It's too much to also race on race day to also be behind the wheel. So, but I've got other drivers racing some of the trucks that I do own.
Am I right? Did you get a win at 35 Raceway last year?
Yeah, I ran the first time in the truck and ran one race last year, one down there.
That's pretty good luck right there.
Yeah, some cards fell in my place right there at the end. I mean, I wasn't the fastest by any means, but a couple of things went my way in the last 2 or 3 laps, and was able to make something happen.
Nice, very good. Well, all this comes about because I ran into you at the Race Cars and Future Stars Expo at the Piqua Center, and you explained to me how you got the idea to start the Dirt Track Truck Series. And I thought it was a great idea. You know, you and I talked there for a little bit. So for those people that don't know, when did you start this and what made you think of it? How did it all come about?
This is our 5th year doing it. It kind of started with Waynesfield ran the truck class, and then they took I don't remember if they shut down and had a new promoter take over, so they was only running sprint cars for a few years. So the truck guys kind of had nowhere to go. And I had a couple trucks at the time, and I just had some connections with some other racetracks from my stock car days, and they allowed us to come in a couple times a year, and it kind of just grew from that. Just other tracks got to see us that had never seen us or maybe only heard about us. So that was fun. Plus the guys that had already been racing Waynesfield for 6 or 8 or 10 years had really never been anywhere else. So that was neat for them guys to go to Gas City or Montpelier or some places like that.
So when you got into the side of starting and running and promoting your own series, how much different was that for you compared to just hopping in the car and racing?
It's definitely different. You get to see a lot more behind the scenes stuff, especially talking to other tracks and their managers and their promoters and how shows run or how shows need to run, obviously for them to make money or just put out a good event. So that's a lot of things maybe just your everyday driver or fan don't know, or maybe worst case they think they know. I think we've all seen people talk on social media that you should do this or you should do that. Well, there's reasons why certain tracks have to make certain decisions at certain times, and so I've got to see some of that and understand why they need to do it.
Is there anything that in transitioning to that role of promoter that you thought was easier than it was going to be?
No, I don't. No, I don't think any of it's been easy. So, yeah. Can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
I figured it would be a difficult transition, but like you said, it gives you an appreciation for what all goes on, like you said, behind the scenes for tracks and promoters and people running series, just how much work goes into that. So besides the points payouts that you have during the season for the Dirt Track Truck Series, you've got heat race payouts. Where did that idea come from, and how much do your drivers enjoy that?
I think I don't know where, maybe I just racing different places and seeing different things, and maybe I've seen some things posted in years past, even 30 years ago, that certain tracks did certain things, or so I made sure to get heat race points, because not every track does that. And then just through the sponsorship money, I know a lot of people think, just everybody thinks all the money should go to the winner all the time, especially like one big race or something like that. But I just found ways to maybe take all the money and spread it out kind of equally in different areas. So some of that fell into, we do heat race payouts, we do first, second, and third there. And then we have a couple events here and there during the year. Like last year was our 75th series race. So we had quite a bit of money was brought in for that. I think it was $750 to win, and every driver got an additional $75 on top of their track pay. Other things. We had like powder puff race and a dash for cash race, some things like that. So I just found ways to move money around so everybody gets a little bit of it.
Nice, very nice. Love hearing that. Your 2024 champion was Raleigh Hayter, who was dominant. He had 9 wins in 11 races, but second and third place were only separated by 30 points. Is there anybody that is running the series that you see taking a step forward this season? Do you have any new drivers that are hopping on with your series in 2025?
I think our top 5 guys will probably still be there, top 5 area. Everybody's always looking at something to improve. I've been talking to a couple of those guys of what they maybe should try this year. Some of the guys I think are going to do quite a bit better, just more mid-pack guy. I think Dusty Ratliff will do quite a bit better this year, and Curtis Heisner. They're stepping up their program a little bit more this year. We have, I think, 3 new guys this year, 3 or 4. I'm kind of losing track. It seems like they're all coming out of the woodwork here in the past 2 or 3 weeks. So I know some of them have other backgrounds in racing, whether it be like kart racing, or a couple guys are coming up from the front wheel drive classes. So it's hard to say how they'll adjust, especially how they'll adjust from that different type of racing, front wheel drive to rear wheel drive. So it'll be interesting. It'll be neat to see.
Yeah, good to see, and that's a good problem to have, losing track of how many guys have been added to your series going into the next year. You had Limeland and Waynesfield. Those were the 2 tracks that you had on your schedule in 2024. What does 2025 look like? You have that scheduled ironed out?
Yeah, so far we have 11 races, same 2 there's been a lot of movement around. Obviously, Lima's kind of our priority right now. They took us on more full-time last year. They always used to let us run there maybe once or twice a year, but last year we became more of a full-time. Not full-time, I guess. They run 12 races. They put us on for 5 or 6. But we're looking. They're talking. We're looking to be more there in the future. Waynesfield took a different direction this year with Larry stepping down. And then the folks from Fremont are going to take over there. So they only have 5 races total, but we are on 2 of them, 2 of their scheduled nights. So that's nice that we're still back there, because that's where the truck class originated. So they're keeping us there. We're adding 2 new tracks this year, 2 new to us, obviously. So we've got Millstream and Finley has us on for 2 nights, and then Atomic down there by Chillicothe, they brought us on for 2 nights this year. So that'll be neat, too. Like I said, that's what's kind of nice moving around with this class. Of people get to go places they've never been, and it kind of showed maybe different drivers will shine in different spotlights, I guess, with different track sizes or configurations.
Sure. And you guys are getting really north and south. I mean, and everything in between. You're touching different spots there in Ohio, and that's got to be good for the series to kind of spread out and get your name out
Yeah,
there for folks
some of
that may
the
not be familiar.
yeah, some of the people have been with the series for the whole time. This 5 year, I think we've ran. I lost track. I want to say 12 tracks in Ohio we've ran over the past 5 years. So we've done quite a bit of traveling.
Very, very nice. Do you know when you guys are going to run Millstream? Are you going to run the big track or the small track?
We're set up to run their small track.
Okay, that should be a very good race.
Yeah.
Besides the tracks that you just mentioned that you've added to the schedule for 2025, do you have anything else new going on in the series in 2025?
No, nothing really different new this year. I think just having some of the newer drivers in this year is what's going to be really, I guess, something to watch for.
Sure, sure. Ton of help. Like you said, there's a lot of work behind the scenes on your part, not just running it when it's race day, but getting with the sponsors and getting their name out there. I know you guys have a Facebook page. Do you have any other social media for the Dirt Track Truck Series?
No, just everything's through our Facebook page. I obviously right now it gets kind of slow, so I usually in the off season I post about once a week, especially doing like a recap of last year's top 10 in points, and then here this next month I'll be spotlighting all the sponsors, especially when they all start coming back on board or new ones, or so I'll highlight them during the weeks, and then obviously and then during race season. Uh, I post everything usually Sunday night or Monday, like the follow couple days after racing. I'm kind of one of them firm believers. I don't like people that post stuff right away. I know social media is a big thing now, obviously, and it kind of hurts. It hurts and helps racetracks. But it seems like everybody
Sure.
wants you to either go live or they want the results right now. And I like the idea that if you want to know, you should just buy a ticket. So
Sure.
I post all the heat race videos and features and stuff, but like I said, I usually wait a couple days before I do that.
I noticed you guys run the King of the Quarter Mile. Is that something you'll be? I know you talked about getting in more with Lima Land. Is that something that you guys are going to continue to be a part of?
Yeah, they allowed us in that last year, even though we only ran half the season there, but they do it based on our points for our series. So it's not just based on 5 or 6 races, it's based on our series total. So I work with them and let them know by that date who's the top 20 in points, and then that's the top 20, that's what qualifies you for, well, that final night of racing at Lima. And then the King of the Quarter Mile is anyone that's won a feature that during that year. So it doesn't even have to be a feature won at Lima. You could win at Millstream or Atomic or anywhere else and still qualify for that rate. And that's just in our series.
Gotcha. Yeah, I enjoy that King of the Quarter Mile that they do there at the end of the season at Lima, and that's cool that you guys have been able to be a part of that.
Yeah,
Powder puff stuff. You're doing that?
I'm not sure if that's going to work
Powder
out this
puff
year.
stuff?
We did that. That was usually
Okay.
kind of an end of the year thing at Waynesfield, and then we did it last year. So then with Waynesfield not being full time with us this year, I don't know. Maybe I can work it out somewhere else, but right now it's not on the schedule.
You started this series when it was really tough to get to the track in 2020, right? And
Yeah.
now here you are, 2025, and it seems like you're continuing to grow, and you gotta work it out with tracks. You've got some new tracks on the schedule for 2025. You've got some new drivers coming in, and I'm sure you'll have some additional sponsorship heading in the right direction. And I don't think you can ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, seems to be so far things are working in our favor. Even when we find little hiccups or whatever with schedule changes or from the tracks, we seem to still make it work somehow. So, and thanks to them for allowing us to be there. I think they like seeing us. It's something different for some of the fans. I think everybody knows what a race truck is, but not everybody gets to see them. I don't.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. New drivers and a couple new tracks added to the schedule.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Keep moving forward and building what you've started.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up here, do you have sponsors that you'd like to thank?
Yeah. So our Advanced Machine Solutions, they're our primary sponsor. They cover just the points payouts and stuff. And then we have Justin Rapp, who's also a driver in the class. He is with Rapp Construction. He owns his own construction business. He's been big these past 2 years. Phil Hicks also races in the series. He's been with me since I was racing stock cars. So he's been not just with the series the whole time, but with me for probably, I don't know, 15 years, I guess. But yeah, he sponsors the series, Hicks Lawn Services out of Lima. We have Raleigh Hayter. His business is Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet. They like to kick in a lot of bonuses through the years. So they'll have, maybe we'll have a special night or something, and they'll throw a little money towards that. We have Brandon Daly. He's Bodies by Daly. He does his own race car bodies and stuff and parts distributor. Let's see, I know I'm probably missing something. We have Bach Promotional Products. They're out of Lima. They do a lot of the promotional products like T-shirts and tumblers and just little things that maybe you have a business where you want your names and stuff on. They do a lot of that kind of business. I know we got a lot of sponsors there. I know I'm probably just missing them, some of them.
Andy, I appreciate you jumping on with me. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but again, Andy King, owner and promoter of the Dirt Track Truck Series, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Hopefully we see you, during the season and maybe talk some more. Maybe trackside next time.
Yes, sir. We can definitely work that out. I appreciate you coming on, and it won't be long. We'll be getting this nasty weather out of here, and we can all get to the track.
Yeah, we got about, I think if somebody said yesterday, we got 25 days for we kickoff.
Yeah. It's places are trying. I know you're seeing this. Places are trying to kick the gates open now, and especially in the Midwest, it seems like the weather hasn't been cooperative. But we're a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from a lot of tracks opening up, and like you said, a lot of series finally getting the 2025 season kicked off. And I know we're all itching to get to the track.
Yep.
All right, Mr. King, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody, this is Josh with the Dirt Court Jesters Podcast, and we hope to see you at the track.